All right. Welcome back to the Jumpcast. We're energetic today.
Yes.
We just had to make a point about it to be at least
Yeah.
in the opening, so we're not petering out immediately.
Exactly.
We got some stuff to talk about this week on. I already forgot. Episode 19.
Episode 19.
Yeah, we got some really good
Very
stuff.
big chapter, very unexpected.
Yeah.
Neither of us predicted this at all. Neither of us predicted Yuji to be back up this soon.
I don't even think
I don't know.
Sukuna did too.
Yeah, he's like, you're still here?
Also,
Dude, there's so much to talk about.
I
with
like,
this one.
like I have
The
it
leaks
open
were
next
huge
to
on
me.
this one.
Yeah, the leaks. You know, sometimes I'm like, now that we're active more on Twitter, we're posting the leaks and stuff like that. I feel sometimes I'm like, oh, come on, I have to see the leaks. Like, it's not going to be as much of a bombshell, but I'm like, I'm realizing it's still a bombshell drop. Like, holy,
Well, because the scans are so crappy, and I don't try to stay consistent. Like the day that it came out like what, Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Is when the leaks came out.
We look at them Wednesday. Like I look at them in between my class, or if I have like a break during when I'm at work.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, this one came out specifically like Tuesday night because we were in a Discord call, and I was like, crap, take a look. But you see the really crappy scans is in Japanese, so we don't understand it. All we see is just Yuji cut up into having a crap ton of cuts on him and just decking Sukuna.
I saw it and I'm like, I just sent you individually.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, is Yuji dead? Like, oh, I'm good. Like, what did I say exactly? I'm like, where is it?
And people still had theories of what was going on. It's just Yuji has reverse curse technique, or it's Yuji is built different. He literally resisted cleave and dismantle. There's something going on with his body, or he tapped into the core of curse energy, and then we see the official scans and just oh no, Yuji is just built tough as always. As Higuruma said, is he's an indestructible doll.
Well, because there's the quote that, where Sukuna's like, what is his strength? And he's saying, is this guy from, the Han era, actually? Like, what?
Yeah,
what?
that was, super huge as well, because they never covered that in the leak either. I guess maybe because the translation was really hard. But that's another big thing, is that Yuji's from the Heian era, but not really.
But and also Sukuna knew. I mean, it could be from that shared memory we see after Yuji gets stabbed by Yuta, the one where you see his mom and you see the stitching on her forehead. So I'm guessing I don't know if Yuji could be able to later on access Sukuna's memories. He could potentially do how Gojo's you could use his techniques later on, but it seems like Sukuna is just straight up able to access all of Yuji's memories.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I feel we're jumping the gun a little bit.
Oh, no, we are.
Go to the front of this chapter, which is Angel supposed
Good
to be dying.
Riddance.
Yes. Well, what is it? Hana is the one that sucked in my opinion. I really liked Angel. I saw a lot of commentary on this chapter this morning before we recorded, and somebody pointed out that just it's so funny that Sukuna throws her off the building and makes her a fallen angel.
Oh,
and,
the symbolism.
Eats her wing and everything. All that symbolism. I'm not gonna say good riddance because now we don't know what's gonna happen with Gojo.
Exactly.
So, and then what is it? We see Yuji just witnessing everything, and his pupils they're not dilated, they're the opposite.
They're just wide,
Yeah, they're not how his eyes are normally drawn, and you see that he's kind of probably just having a big mental breakdown.
It's still, I'm still not used to seeing him without the little Sukuna marks under his eyes. It looks weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. But then we see him climb up to the building next to where crap where Sukuna is.
It's such like a shonen protagonist moment to me, like when he jumps up and like destroys the building. Like
that brings me to a lot of the powers that's going on, but we should probably keep on going.
No, yeah.
Somebody akin that like he looks like he's pouncing on his prey. As if like because he was called like the tiger of was.
I was about to mention that too. Yeah.
I just saw a lot of commentary about that, and like, so first off, he's showing incredible speed feats in this instant. Like he's still perceivable by Sukuna, but not really at the same time. So he's like, he's going way faster than any of us expected him to be going. Like for a good example, he takes down a building and is so fast that Sukuna can't even perceive the boulder that he gets hit by.
Yeah. Well, there's like on that really cool full page spread, it'd be page 6 and 7. There's the little thing on the side of Sukuna like wide-eyed.
Yeah.
Like did he really just do that with potentially no cursed energy?
Yeah. Like, does he have cursed energy right now or not? That's another big
Well,
question.
because like,
oh,
sorry.
No, you go.
Well, because like on par with like what he just did, literally from like chapter 1 and like episode 1 of the anime and manga, there is like the moment of when like Megumi is like kind of getting messed up by that second grade curse that has both of Yuji's friends. And Yuji jumps potentially like 3 to 4 stories, no difficulty, and pounces and then potentially damaged the curse. So I think like we're getting back to maybe like that style of Yuji where he's just gonna punch stuff.
There's also a question of if he still has cursed energy, like if Sukuna took all the cursed energy and maybe he has like the heavenly restricted body again. Although I'm not sure about that. It really depends.
I would like to believe. Yeah, I would like to believe he has, because I want to see Yuji like. I want to see him use Black Flash again. Like I think end of this series, like if Yuji's still alive, like and Jujutsu Society's still a thing. Like that's gonna be like his nickname or like his title, like the Black Flash Master or something.
Yeah, the man gifted with the flashes of black or whatever.
Oh, that would be so cool. But yeah,
I think
like, oh, sorry.
If we do see that next chapter, I'm just gonna say that Yuji's curse technique is like athletic mastery or like curse energy mastery.
It's like D&D. He like maxed out his like strength, his strength the next. Yeah, there's nothing else.
Rolls a 20 to hit every time.
Like, Yuji is like popping off. I will say that also like the choreography in this fight has been some of my favorite of like. Yeah. Honestly, all of the Culling games, like this fight, I think once it's done is going to be up there with like Sendai Colony level.
Yes, I agree with the speed and the like. I'll put it plain and straight right here. Yuji is showing special grade feats right here, like especially just because we're talking about Sukuna right now, a 15-finger Sukuna. He was able to almost completely blitz Sukuna with throwing the boulder, grabbing the traffic. He's
like Dio, dude.
He was able to come around him. Sukuna didn't even realize that Yuji was behind him until the last second.
Well, there's always I feel like always with like manga and anime on page 10 when he's behind Sukuna hitting, that way he's drawn is always the representation of someone getting like blitzed.
Yeah.
Like someone blitzing like, someone with speed, whatever. Like that's always how it's drawn. So I do agree that like we're seeing special grade feats. I think at least like Yuji could be put in like would be semi grade 1. Is it semi Supreme? That's I think potential Supreme like I think between grade 1 and between Supreme Grade 1 currently. I think that's where we're seeing current Yuji.
Like,
but
a good example of like, dude, he would have like, say for example, this was Naoya. I still think that the same feat would have been present, except that Naoya would actually be killed with that traffic pole hitting him across the head.
Yeah, no, like there would be some really cool. Because this does bring in like a ton of more, like this chapter, I think completely flips the script with Yuji's like power scaling.
Yeah. Like everyone was saying that like this is like he's the like him and Megami were the weakest link of our protagonist group. This is like easily putting him on levels with like Hikari.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Like I'm saying this with like a bit of like a, I don't want to admit it, but like this is stronger than Maki and like Toji. Like being able to blitz Sukuna like this, and being able to crash, like to break a building down like that, like the even just the jump towards Sukuna, breaking the ground, it's showing a lot. And also being able to take the cleave and dismantle, although that's also up for question.
Oh yeah.
There was a good point. I don't know if you saw the Broken Ronin video before this, where he's talking about chapter 214. He's talking about how like Yuji's perspective may be changing right now.
Oh, like, from like the Kagen machine.
Yeah. Because like he's just like he's kind of getting to the same mindset of like Yuki or maybe even like Suguru, of the just like, why can't you jerks just live a normal life? Like, why are you like fan translations were saying like, you're the reason I have such a messed up life.
Yeah.
Like getting out his anger about that, which is just so interesting. And then we have Sukuna with like his whole dialogue of just like, you just spend your life stifling your misery.
There's so from the scans and the official, in the official it's the when Yuji says, oh, you should be the one to try and stifle this misery, and Sukuna says, come closer. Yeah. I love the scans for this week, for this page, because they said, let's see if you can chew up me and my suffering, and then Sukuna just goes, try me. Like,
yeah,
I think, yes, they probably translated differently with Viz, but like I think the scans for that page in particular went so much harder. And I think just, like, even Viz and the scans, both their translations, and this page I feel like is showing maybe that Yuji's mentality changing. Like, I would love to see, you mentioned with like you saying like Hikari level feats. I would love to see, like, because I thought with Yuki coming into the mix, I thought Yuki was gonna start mentoring like Yuji. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. That. Like, I would love to see potentially Yuji get mentored in some way by Hikari, and you know, with Hikari's no matter how much force he puts behind it, feels like shark skin, like sandpaper, like a serrated bat. Yeah. Something where Yuji develops like his own curse technique, kind of that. But
like he can manipulate his curse energy to be like that.
Somewhat, like, but I was thinking like paper. Yeah, well, I was thinking like that could be it, just like straight up like doing the same thing, or no matter how much, how like soft or hard he punches you, he hits your soul.
Yeah.
Which I feel like he's already going towards anyways, but I feel like it'd be cool to get some sort of mentorship to kind of flesh that out.
Yeah. I would love to see a mentor moment. I don't know if we're going to get that anytime soon. I really wish that he would have also been trained by Yuki, like, because that also would have been like a whole, like, when you talk about like the legends of Yuji Itadori, like trained by the 2 top special grades of his era. I feel like that would have been really fun. Although I don't think, what is it? Gege doesn't like training arcs, which annoys me, but
I feel like the cast did, I feel like we really haven't got one since the exchange arc. That little bit with Toto and him.
Yeah, with like learning how to utilize his curse energy to the fullest, which is also a part of like Yuki's training, because Todo is taught by Yuki.
Okay, so my nose is really stuffy. I'm gonna go blow it really quickly. You keep talking. I'll be back.
I keep talking?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to keep this up then. The only thing with like the cog in the machine thing that I feel like he's still gonna be a little bit stuck on, but he's changing from, is when Sukuna is talking about his whole monologue, like continuing on your path means destruction and everything. Like when they cut to like parts of Yuji's face, like I almost forgot these guys are and will always be curses. I like pointing out that like Yuji for a second forgot that Sukuna is a curse instead of just another human being or like another sorcerer, and it's also probably just because he took over Megami's body. But I think that just shows Yuji's resolve to fight Sukuna to the end. Especially with the next page of him getting hit with the cleave and dismantle, like his foot being cut, his ear being cut in half and thrown off, and just being destroyed. He's covered in his own blood, but still, even with all of that pain, he still is resolved to kill Sukuna or exorcise him. I hope that Max gets back soon.
No, I'm back. I'm letting you pop off.
Okay, you're letting me pop off.
Yeah.
The only annoying thing is that the cleave and dismantle is weaker because of Megami, which is fine. I'm happy that Megami is still technically alive, but I wish that wasn't the case. To like, it's just like, oh yeah, Sukuna's nerfed right now. I don't want that to be the case on why Yuji beats him. Yuji needs to beat him when he's trying to go all out, which I mean he was before this cleave and dismantle. Like he was able to perceive everything coming from Yuji. I don't think Megami can make him look any slower or be any slower. But yeah, I also like after he took the first like cleave, Sukuna tries to akin Yuji to like a butterfly stuck in a spider web.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm just trying to think of other things going on. I'm very curious about the Heian era thing.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I really want to know.
like what the origin of that is. Like, there has to be something relating to like Yuji's father or grandfather for that situation, because it can't just be Kenjaku decide like, oh man, I'm just gonna have a kid with this guy. Headcanon here.
Yuji's family from his dad's side, I'd say, is somehow related, like they're descendants of the person with the first heaven, like the first descendant of the person with the first heavenly restriction. Is my headcanon. My theory. Probably not true, but like that, I think that would be sick. Because I would still like to see Yuji regain his cursed energy, and I would like to see him become like a hybrid of a heavenly restriction and just a normal sorcerer, if that's possible. Like,
because that's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Because we've seen he basically has a heavenly restriction with these these blitzing feats today.
Yeah.
And just amplifying himself with cursed energy. I think this is not even a question that if he had cursed energy stones amplifying himself, like this would be, you could classify in this moment, if he had cursed energy and was using it in the same way, I would classify him like Hakari as like a situational special grade. Like when he pops off, like it'd be so cool to see that.
This is definitely the example of a situational special grade.
Oh yeah.
Like, especially because like just compare this to his last fight with Higuruma. Like even without any curse energy, he was on par with a first grade sorcerer.
I think also part of Yuji going all out in this fight could be from him realizing, hey, this is Sukuna Megumin's body, but where he says, I almost forgot these guys are and will always be curses. Yeah. So like him realizing, hey, I don't want to kill Megumi, but I might have to.
But this is Sukuna. I'm gonna finish him off right here and now. Because I'm sure that he also has the same perception of like, oh, Megumi's dead. It's just Sukuna.
Because I don't think I think they like, because Megumi really like hammered in, and Gojo did, how lucky Yuji was, because they didn't know his heritage or anything. How lucky he was that he could, somewhat coincide with Sukuna at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more information since then that we've learned about Yuji in his past, but it's
really lucky. But yeah, so like him just remembering that and like giving him the resolve to just like, okay, I'm gonna kill Sukuna no matter what.
And like the big moment for me when like he's like, I'm going to kill Sukuna, is when he's getting like cleaved all over and he just keeps walking. Like,
oh yeah.
First thing when I read that, like I saw the leak of that, was like all those indomitable human spirit memes. But I'm like, he's embodying that, like, oh my god, like stuff like that today.
And this art itself is just so good.
This is like Gege, his art style, in my opinion, almost at his finest. Like,
oh yeah.
Or I'd say at his finest. This is amazing.
Yeah, you can feel this whole scene just right here. Like, it is like a good example of like the indomitable human spirit. Like, you know how much pain he's taking, but how much he just doesn't care, and he keeps pushing forward to just deck Sukuna. And also that punch is so clean. I always love how Gege draws Yuji punching, because it always looks so clean and just so devastating.
I want to know if Gege has some sort of like martial arts background at all, or interest in it, because of how well he draws Yuji like fighting, and I mean just in the series in general, just like the martial arts aspect.
I think he does, because if you go to Volume 0, when Gojo is fighting Miguel, like Miguel is like having his whole monologue, is like, how many decades it took for my ancestors to make this rope? He's like, shut up, you're not. And then he like said some MMA fighter.
So maybe... in Volume 0.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for that right now. I'm pulling it off the shelf. Actually, I'm genuinely curious about that.
And we know that that Gege wanted to originally make a sports series.
Yeah, he was interested in basketball originally, if I remember correctly.
I mean, I think that he just likes sports in general. But MMA definitely is one part of it.
Oh, who cares? You're talking like you're the MMA comedian Bobby Ugan. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah.
He definitely cares about it. I mean, like, even in the fight with Mahito, like, he points out specifically, I talked to you about this after we recorded the tier list, but like Taito martial arts, which is like a modernized form of karate. So like, he definitely cares about it. He definitely has done his research, and I don't know if this is a boxing stance, most likely, just because his left arm is also covering his face.
Yeah, but keeping
just, like,
up.
That pose is so devastating. Just like how his torso twists, that he put all of his might into that punch.
Yeah, no, I feel like Yuji always has that same paneling whenever he like gets a really good punch in. Like, I feel like it was to Toto, Hanami, Mahito. The 2 times he fought Mahito, even probably the grasshopper spirit or the curse that he fought. Like, that's his, like, that and Black Flash, like, his signature moves.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I hope that he does have control over his curse energy. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because like he's still seeing everything go off. I wouldn't be surprised if Sukuna made his body adapted to curse energy, and now he can just control it whenever he wants. So I just want to see a black flash get landed on him.
Okay, I just
like
came
that
up...
would have.
Oh, sorry, you keep going.
It just would have been, because even think about him landing a black flash as the last panel, like even getting cut and everything still, and still just landing a black flash. That would have been so sick.
Okay, hear me out, Nick. I know you haven't finished Bleach, but there's a moment way later, with when Ichigo's fighting Aizen, and it's called the final Getsuga Tensho. So Aizen at that point, most people couldn't recognize his spiritual pressure because he had so much of it. They just thought like they couldn't.
Yeah.
They look at him.
He's like one of those like crazy.
But
know the basics of spiritual pressure.
There's so during the final bits of the Karakura Town, the fake Karakura Town arc, no one, even Ichigo's dad, the head captain, can't register Aizen's spiritual pressure. But Ichigo does. And it's this whole thing of like Ichigo also got on that level that even Aizen couldn't recognize his. I think it'd be really cool if there was a moment like that where like they think he's a heavenly restriction, but you know, he doesn't have absurd amounts of cursed energy like Yuta does, but something where like his cursed energy could be on like a completely different bar than a normal grade 1 sorcerer that registers that like he's hitting, like he could be hitting someone with cursed energy, but they don't know. Yeah.
Well, I think that's even like illustrated. Like, I think Yuji is definitely down the route of not like it's the whole thing between like Yuta and Yuji, because like Yuta even says like we're just complete opposite beings. Like I'm weak physically, but I have mass amounts of curse energy, while Yuji is like he has the heavenly restricted body with the bonus of having like a small reserve of.
I'd say like average, I think is what they said.
Yeah, probably. Well, like it just depends on how you use it, mainly. But like he just masters how to manipulate it into his punches and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the fight with Yuta, remember when he's talking about like he got advice from Toto, where like if you like a high level sorcerer will be able to disguise his next move. Mm-hmm. Compared to like a lower grade one, like because you'll see the curse energy travel from the stomach to the fist.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe something like that.
It'll just be interesting to see where we go next week. Is the big thing. I still want what we theorized like a week or like 2 or 3 weeks ago about Higuruma coming. Because like we say, Yuji is like the opposite of Gojo. Yuji's Yuji Todori when he's fighting with someone, when he has like backup in a sense. Because there was something I had sent you, and then you were just like, this made me realize just like how much Toto helped carry the Mahito fight.
Well, I was like watching videos, and I reread that fight with Mahito and Yuji, and like it's almost as if Toto is using Yuji just as a weapon. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I know that this guy can hurt Mahito, so I'm just gonna keep Mahito on his feet, like off his feet, so that Yuji can just deck him.
Yeah.
So I think that could be something similar with like Higuruma and Sukuna and Yuji if that comes out. I'd love to see that, or we still don't know what's going on with Maki or Takaba, because they didn't get hit by the lightning.
Mm-hmm. They're somewhere out there.
Yeah. Right now they're just seeing a building crumble.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd love to see them make a reappearance, but I don't think that's likely right now.
Yeah, no, well, it'll be I think it needs to be that it needs to be like the Yuji versus Sukuna moment for a while. Kind of how like right after Nanami and Nobara just saying died. It needs to be that one-on-one for a while, and then I think
the next person that needs to come out is Kashimo. If I'm seeing anyone fighting Sukuna, it needs to be Kashimo next, because now we can have people go in between barriers.
Yeah.
Like Kashimo and Hikari have to be coming up for this fight.
I think it would be cool to see Kashimo and Hikari come through at the same time, and they're witnessing this fight, and they mistake, even though you can see the tattoos on Sukuna. Kashima's like, "Hey, didn't you say the pink hair one's supposed to be Sukuna?" And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on now though, but like,
yeah."
If you want, just like kick both their asses for me."
Exactly. That'd be a really funny and stupid way to kill Itadori, is that like while he's beating down on Sukuna, he just gets a lightning bolt to the head and just like his head explodes and like, oh, wrong person.
Exactly. I do want to, like, I know we're in a very serious moment, but Gege's really good about small bits of comedy, and I really want a small bit of comedy right now of between Kashimo and Hikari. Like, it'd be so funny to like, because they're like right after their fight. Anytime I've read that has always had me dying, like not dying of laughter, but it always had me laughing. Like I mean that entire fight too, because it just I will say I love Hikari now. Like, he is such a cool character, and now he finally, whatever. I'm going way off topic, but I really want to see Kashimo or Higuruma or Maki, or even like there's the, I don't know if you retweeted it on the Twitter, but like the one of like some dude doing the worm and it's like Takaba fighting Sukuna. It would be so like I think we need like someone like, I think the Takaba fight would be like, Takaba fighting Sukuna would be really good to see, of like someone like taking Sukuna's ego down a peg or two. Would be really funny to see, and something I would like be all for.
Annoying him, just like, why can't I kill you? Come on, what is going on? I don't know. This is such a serious moment. I don't know where it can go on from here. It's because I also don't want Sukuna to be like stupidly nerfed by Megami either.
I don't want it to become like a 1 or 2 finger where like Yuji could defeat him. I want it to be like, at least Yuji's putting in a big effort and has to tap out, and then other people have to help him. I want it to be like, I want to see like another like Maharaga Sukuna moment. Like, I want to see a 15 finger Sukuna. I want to see the other 10 shadow. I want to see the other
that's
curses.
True. He could start pulling out the other
like
shadows.
Oh my gosh, dude, like I would love to see if, because Nue's based off, apparently I saw something on Twitter, he's based off like some I think Japanese like like some weird I shouldn't say weird, but it's just some deity.
It's a chimera.
It's like, I think they said it's like, I forget the exact name, but it's like a chimera. I want to see if like, okay, you know, these amped up 10 shadows beings are like I want to see them like being like deities from different like mythologies and stuff. Like the wolf is like what's the wolf? Fenrir, yeah, the one that starts Ragnarok, being like inspired by that. Like, it's just like it already is like a giant wolf, but just being like even bigger, something like that. The snake is just like the world. It's just like the world serpent, like Jormungandr. Like, be so cool to see, but I don't know if we will. With Sukuna being nerfed, I don't know if we'll be able to see them to the extent that Nue was. I should clarify.
I also want to say that I don't want to see Megami take over his body again.
Yeah, because like that was Sukuna's whole plan originally, is to get in Megumin's body. Like, in my opinion, if Megumin takes over and keeps Sukuna's body, Sukuna wins, no matter what. In my opinion, it's like the a win is a win.
Like if Megami went to sleep, like Sukuna would just wake up in his body like, my turn.
Yeah, and now I think if there's a way to transfer the 15 fingers back to Yuji, that moment, you know, when Yuji just gets decapitated in like the innate domain thing, in the inner world thing, That's not gonna happen. It could be Yuji and Sukuna potentially, I know they wouldn't, but working together, or having, instead of the 1 minute in chain type deal, be something different.
That just made me think of another cool thing that I could think about, of just like, if they go into like Megami's mind, it's just like a domain clash between Sukuna and Megami. Because they both have barrierless domains, and like, like when Sukuna killed Yuji, and then they made the whole pact, as you said, like they were just fighting in Sukuna's domain and his like little bone place. I'd love to see something like that as well.
There's plenty where we could go from here.
Yeah, exactly. What is your best bet? What do you think will actually come up next chapter?
I don't want it to, but I'm thinking, he's like, damn you, Megami Fushiguro at the end. He's getting nerfed. I'd love to see that, like, domain inner mind clash would be really cool. But I definitely think we're gonna see Sukuna get genuinely pissed off that Yuji was able to land that big of a hit on him. I mean, maybe some more reveals about what Yuji is. Like, I mean, it could be slowly, like, I want to know what are you? Could be cool to see, but it's like what we always said about Chainsaw Man. It's like, we can't predict what's gonna happen next now. Like, there's too much.
Well, especially with this stuff.
Where are you leaning towards right now?
What am I leaning towards? I honestly would really like to see Yuji learn reverse curse technique. Although it is cool seeing him like all battered and bloody right now, just fighting.
But I think he's running on fumes. Like, he got punched through.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah, well, like, he was showing off such great feats before, and then he just like lands one good punch to him, and he's not even flying. Like, I want to see Yuji punching Sukuna so hard that he's flying in between buildings, like the exact same thing that happened to Yuji.
I think what could happen is Megami can view what's going on right now. Potentially noticing that Yuji's about to land that punch, and Megami tries to fight for that moment. Like, fight Sukuna, and then, like, it could be that thing of like the friendship thing of like, oh, we're friends, but we're gonna I'm gonna okay, Yuji's about to land a hit. Okay, I'm gonna try and take over for a set. Like, not take over, but just like, how like Geto like literally tried to choke out Kenjaku.
Choke himself out.
Like, kind of that situation, but instead of trying to kill himself, he's trying to just stall for a second so Yuji can land that hit. And I think that's how we could get that Black Flash moment of like
that's true. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see that.
But there's so much we could see for next week. Also, this chapter was a page longer than Gege normally does it. He normally does 19. Really? He's normally a 19. He normally does 19. And we got a 20. So.
Oh, is that actually 20 pages?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be counting this right now.
Yeah, but no, it's fine. It's just like something I noticed while I was like scrolling through. But yeah, no, there's plenty where this series could go from here. Or I mean, where this fight. I shouldn't say the series. I should say where the fight can go. And I would really like to see where this fight can go from here. Because I
want Yuji to land that Black Flash.
I really do want to see a Black Flash.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not a Yuji Todori fight unless there's a Black Flash. Like,
exactly.
We need that. So.
Exactly. We need that man gifted with the black sparks.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah.
I think this is a good place to call it.
That's a perfect spot to end. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 19. If you have any theories or anything to add, please leave in the comments. Tweet us out on Twitter. We love hearing what other people have to say. Yeah, just all like I put out a thing on Twitter last night. I would love to see people respond to that. It's about Utah, so
I'd love to hear more theories.
I'd love to see more people just respond about this chapter, where they're thinking it's going. If you had something, similar but slightly different, I'd love to even hear like how different.
Or something completely opposite.
Like you think Yuji's just gonna die? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This has gonna be a 10.5.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to episode 19. Have a good week.